Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on the eBike Destination Tour. My name is Drew. My co-host Robert and I will be taking you around Phoenix, Arizona, showcasing some of the awesome trails that are e-bike legal, as well as offering you guys a little bit of insight to some good dining options, family-friendly activities, and of course, making a stop by Pivot Cycles HQ, who are based right here in Tempe on the outskirts of Phoenix. They played a vital role in ensuring that e-bikes had access here on South Mountain, as it's where they do a ton of their testing and development on all their mountain bikes, and especially their eMTB line. I've been to South Mountain already many times, which is part of why I thought it would be a great place to come and ride. But what I've heard of South Mountain is that it is rocky, rugged, and hot. Three things I like.
This is Braceras. We're getting ready to start the downhill. Pretty nice rowdy downhill, and then when we get to the bottom, we're gonna hit National Trail and we're gonna cross over to the front side of the mountain. And then we're gonna do a little riding across the front side of the mountain, and we're gonna go up a trail called Ranger. It'll be a pretty awesome e-bike loop.
What level of rider would you suggest this loop for?
An A-level rider.
Okay.
Sure.
So South Mountain is, as you could probably guess, on the southern edge of Phoenix, and there are a ton of trail options available out here. The National Trail is one that sort of runs, I think, what a lot of the locals call coast to coast, which is one end of the range to the other. And it is, I would say, the flagship trail of South Mountain, right?
It feels like it, yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's got scenery, you've got overlooks, you've got a pretty big diversity. You know, the far end, you've got real rugged raw trails, which we spent a bunch of time on. As you get over closer to the east side, a little bit more larger rolly slabs and a little bit smoother, more well-traveled terrain. Did you have a side that you liked better?
Yeah, for sure. The side with the bigger rocks, you start almost end up with like a playground. It's this rock skate park or something. It's super fun.
Pretty
Some
cool.
little optional rock rolls off the sides.
And so obviously, you can kind of choose your own adventure when you come out here, and that's something that's really neat. There are parking lots all around. You can even drive all the way up to the top of the Buena Vista outlook, start from up there. But you know, the beauty of the e-bike is that you can just cover so much mileage. And where we stayed at our Airbnb, which we'll link down below, was pretty much right at the bottom of Telegraph Pass, which you want to talk about Telegraph?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't ridden it down yet, and I feel like that's how it's intended to be ridden. Certainly going up it was a challenge, and certainly I didn't complete all of it.
All right, just finished up another awesome ride, and we're gonna head into town, see if we can't find some good food to recommend for you guys when you come to Phoenix.
How excited are you about this one?
I'm so excited, I'm nervous. I'm so excited. Because I don't want to be let down. I mean, we've literally crossed the globe, definitely North America, searching for pizza and burritos. But pizza is definitely something we're looking for, and Adobo in Knoxville, I think, is the most memorable and amazing pizza I've ever eaten. And apparently this place got voted as the best pizza in the world, so we're gonna see if it's better than Adobo. All right, folks, so we just got done here at Pizza Bianco. We had people tell us from abroad as well as here in Phoenix that we had to come try it. Heard they even won an award for having the best pizza in the world. It's good. Don't get me wrong. It could have been an off night. Maybe this location isn't the flagship location. There is another one that had a 2-hour wait, so we drove all the way across town to come here. It was good. Not as good as a Dopo pizza in Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm just gonna say it right now. So for other activities off the bike, Phoenix and the Tempe area have plenty to offer. Here in Tempe, it's a bit more of a college town vibe. Tons of bars, places to eat. Downtown Phoenix has got a ton of restaurants. Scottsdale is nearby. You've got golf courses, zoos, you name it, there's something to do for everybody here in the greater Phoenix area. If you're looking for barbecue, and Little Miss Barbecue has way too long of a wait like it did for us today, come on over to Honey Bear's. It was nice and quiet inside and some good food.
So we're just in the area of Tempe in Phoenix, which is pretty unique in that you can come straight out of the city into kind of wild areas like this, natural areas, beautiful bits of landscape, escape from the city, get out of the car park, straight up here. It's like a 5-minute walk at most, take in the views and see some fairly incredible rock formations like we're at here, the Hole in the Rock, named for fairly obvious reasons.
Making poor decisions with his life. He's gonna regret those when he's older. All right, so with a couple of days of riding under our belt, we're gonna take a little afternoon rest and come here, meet up with the team at Pivot, learn a little bit about the trail advocacy and effort they put into making South Mountain such an e-bike worthy destination. Let's go inside and meet the team. Now, obviously, the shuttle line has evolved over the years, and a lot of your mountain bikes have been tested and developed right down the road in South Mountain. As you guys released your first e-mountain bike and now 2 more, how important was it to make sure South Mountain was an e-bike legal place for you guys to ride?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everything that we ride is tested there, and it's when people ride there, they're like, oh, now I see why your bikes are designed the way they are, because they ride so well at South Mountain, which also translates well to Sedona and a lot of the other places in Arizona, Moab as well, very much the same. And so it was super important for us to build that relationship with South Mountain so that we could give them our input, give them our feedback on what electric bikes were, what they would mean for the market, for the user groups. And just so we could have that not only for testing but for use. I mean, without a place to ride those bikes, there's no purpose to build those bikes, right? I mean, you going back to the beginning, at that point I was in international sales when we first launched the shuttle, and we only launched it in Europe for probably 9 months, because there just wasn't a lot of traction, not only as far as purchasing, but places to ride them here in the U.S. And so where Europe, it was fully entrenched. So it did take a lot, but once that law passed here in Arizona, it started around January of 2019, a lot of the cities, South Mountain's a city park, and so they could develop their own rules and kind of regulations for it. The county parks around the valley, they're scattered throughout the perimeter of the valley, all kind of took on e-bikes as well. And so it's actually a really a good location for e-bike riding in Phoenix, but specifically South Mountain, I think, is probably one of the best destinations in the country for e-biking.
Now, what was, I guess, Pivot's role in helping make e-bikes legal there?
I put into my employee review, that one of the questions we got is, what can we do as a company? We should be doing trail maintenance as a company. It should be something we should be doing to give back. And the response on paper was, get it organized. And so, there's a couple guys here that were already involved in a local group called Grow AZ, and so I just, kind of piggybacked off of their communication with the mountain, and I got in touch with the ranger and said, hey, we want to do this. And so we quickly got that organized. As a company, we were taking like 30, 40 people out several times a year and doing a huge trail work. We put in money to adopt National Trail, and so you'll see the signs out there for our business on National Trail. And just starting that relationship, when that law passed in Arizona, Dan, the park manager at the time, reached out to me and was like, hey, we understand you guys have e-mountain bikes, and we know the law just passed in Arizona. We're considering what to do, whether we want it or not want it in the park. It's up to us. and can we meet and talk about it? So he came over, I gave him a tour. This is at the old building. I gave him a tour of the building, and then we went over the bike. When, you know, I was like, I had one mountain bike here and the shuttle there, and I'm like, you really can't tell the difference, right? But then we started going through what's the difference, and then we went and sat down and talked about, you know, pros and cons. I definitely went over, there's going to be cons. I mean, there's never, like, it's not always good, but I mean, I think far outweighs what bad potential is, the good in it, and the user group. So they actually adopted all 3 classes.
Now, obviously, we understand a lot of people aren't looking to come out here and ride, you know, the Black Diamond and expert and advanced loops, and might just want to come out and enjoy some desert weather in the middle of winter, and there are plenty of blue and green options available. We would definitely suggest the Pima parking lot or the Pima Canyon Loop as the starter spot for your rides. The perimeter trails are definitely nice because specifically, I guess, the Desert Classic, there is still some elevation to be had. The Pima Loop and some of those others closer to the parking lot might be the easiest, but nevertheless, if you're on an e-bike, those perimeter trails kind of run around the base of South Mountain and would give you a good experience. Robert, takeaways for you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for everyday rider, somebody new to the area, somebody new to the terrain, is going to be worthwhile starting from like really taking it easy, respecting the terrain, and starting from the easier runs before you get into some of the gnarlier stuff, because the braking traction especially, and cornering traction or lack of banks for the corners means that once you start picking up a little bit too much speed, it's hard to control that, slow it down, and make the turns. For me, it's been, yeah, I'm from Scotland, where we have nothing like this. The dirt is very rarely this dry, if ever. And it's just been, yeah, respecting the trail, taking it a little bit easier and easing into it. And it's been a serious amount of fun. I'm, yeah, in a couple of days have really pushed my desert riding, I think, and begun to really enjoy it. And then you start to understand the terrain and understand the flow. And there is some flow there to be had.
And I think respecting the terrain is a pretty solid segue to thank Endura and Abus for helping us, as you can see here, keep us safe. If there's not a pointy, prickly bush that's gonna get you, the ground will. So burly knee pads, burly tires, a good solid helmet. Thank you guys very much for riding along with us here at South Mountain in Phoenix, Arizona. Thanks to Pivot and all the other sponsors for making this series happen. Thanks to you guys for watching, getting engaged, leaving comments. That is hugely helpful for us. Let us know if there's another destination or place that you think we should check out or you'd like to learn more about. Stay tuned for lots more episodes. We're about to pack up and hit the road for the next stop. It's not often you get the CEO and founder of a bike company to take a day off and come out and ride bikes with you and shred at the same time.
It was rad.
Chris, thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
It was cool to ride with both of you guys.